everybody, John Hunt here with another episode of Hunt for the Smart Home. Today we're going to talk about the difference between control and automation. And there is a line of limitations when it comes to a control system where you'll be able to do stuff, and at one point that system just can't perform the function or the task or do what you want it to do. And so we'll consider today a win if at the end of this you're able to determine where that line of limitation is, so that you don't get too far down the road and determine you're stuck and then have to go backwards to go forward. So that's how we'll determine if today's a win or not. So let's jump straight into it. So a control system and automation. So first off, let's talk about what is control and what is automation. So let's define it in a couple different ways. Control is basically the ability to do something, let's say from your smartphone. It's still a basic do it for me, and you've made the task easier. For example, I can very well install a Nest thermostat in my home and load the app on my phone, and I can control the thermostat from my phone, home or away, and I can even set settings and timings and schedules and things like that. So I have the ability to do it easier, but I'm still doing that individual task. When we talk about automation, it's more do it for me. And I not only have I made it easier, but I've made it more convenient. Big difference between the two, and doing it for me as opposed to me still having to do it and making it easier and making it extremely convenient. So when we talk about a control system, let's use some examples that are out there that you're probably familiar with. So a Nest thermostat, Apple TV, you've got a Lutron light, you maybe have an Alexa Dot, a garage door controller, maybe some Sonos streaming music, things like that you could very well easily all install yourself. They all come with an app that allows you to control them from your phone, and you can do that. You can control all those devices from your phone individually, and it's made things a lot easier for you versus you having to go up to those devices physically and make those changes. Now let's think of an automation system, where now you have the ability to basically take those same products. You could take those same products and basically layer the automation system on top of it. So you still have the function and the benefit and the use and what those devices do for you, but now you've got basically one person in control, and kind of think of it as a single point of control, not all these individual things doing their own thing that you're gonna log in, log out, log in, log out, log in, log out to change them. So let's take a typical setting and kind of lay this out of how this might work in a control system versus automation. So let's say it's movie night. So you very well could sit down on the couch to watch a movie and grab your Apple TV remote and turn on the TV and turn on the Apple TV and navigate to the movie that you want to watch. Then on your phone, adjust the thermostat, turn the lights down. From the same, jump into another app, control the shades, possibly lock the back door because the movie's going to be on and you're not going to be paying a whole lot of attention to the security aspect of it. So you want to do those things, and you very well could do all those tasks individually from the apps on your phone from the convenience of your couch. And when the movie's over, grab your phone and reverse all that. Turn the lights back on, open the shades back up, adjust the thermostat, do all those particular things. Where now you move into the world of automation is now you sit down on the couch and you pick up your remote and you hit watch movie. All those things that we just mentioned happen. The moment you hit play, the lights dim to a preset brightness, the shades close, the back door locks, the thermostat goes down 4 degrees. Whatever the case may be, you set that scene for when you hit that play command. You hit pause because it's time to get up and go to the restroom or refill your drink or get some more popcorn. Maybe the lights turn up so you can see what you're doing, and then when you sit back down and hit play again, the lights dim back down to where they may be, and when you hit stop or you turn the room off, whatever you want to program, all those things naturally just happen. The shades open back up, the lights turn back on, the thermostat adjusts, all those things happen. So that's the difference of control versus automation. Okay, let's take a second talking about the control path through the eyes of someone that is a DIY person. So if you have the ability to do the research and figure out what the product is that solves the problem that you have, and you're able to install it and put it into your home and get it up and running, then again, more power to you. But just remember, you'll always have to be the smartest guy in the room. You'll always have to be the one figuring out how all these devices connect together and play well together and troubleshoot them and figure out what the problem is and then what would be the solution. So that's the challenge of all these independent devices that you bring together to try to work together as best you possibly can, is you'll always have to be figuring out that formula and that connection in the way that you can make them as seamless as possible, knowing that you've got a lot of independent systems. So it's a challenge. It can be done, but it's a challenge. You just need to know that going into it, that it'll always be an ongoing process, right? That you'll always have to be the one figuring out the solution. The other thing to keep in mind as well is there's a tendency or a draw to want to grab the newest, latest gadgets that do the newest, latest, greatest things. Be careful that not every product that gets launched and developed and brought to the market stays on the market. Some go out of business, some products don't have sustainable life, some just don't work and get pulled. And if that's part of your ecosystem, then I gotta again figure out another solution for the void now that I have. And so, gotta be careful of all those products that are out there that seem to fit a niche and take care of things and are a great price point, that they're going to be around for the long haul, so that you're able to not have to always be fidgeting and adjusting and working on your solution, right? It's an ever-changing target. The other thing to think about as well is that there is no control system out there that will solve all the problems and control all the devices. So some of the popular ones are the Apple HomeKit and the Google Hub and Alexa and those type of things, but they don't control everything. They do have limitations. And so that's what we talked about earlier in the video, is knowing what are those limitations, and at one point am I going to get frustrated because my control system with all these individual parts and pieces just won't do what I want it to do. And so now I've got to kind of put that aside and bring something in, and did I waste any money or time or energy or effort in trying to pursue that, or sitting back going, no, I want convenience and I want one system in control, and I want to know that I can expand it down the road and grow with it. And as popular products are introduced and they sustain themselves and stay on the market, that I know I can always bring them under that larger umbrella and that stable platform of a true home automation system. So think of it kind of like a DVR that you have on your cable box or your YouTube service or Hulu or whatever the case may be. If I've got an older VCR that's a control system, I can go and record a show and I can play it back and watch it. But with today's DVRs that are more cloud-based and things like that, think about it. I have the option of recording a single show. I have also the option of recording the entire series. I can then tell it to not record previously recorded. I only want new episodes in that recording, right? And then it starts to understand my likes and dislikes and offer more particular, let's say, police crime thrillers that go along with the other shows that I've watched. So it starts becoming predictive and makes suggestions to me to watch other shows, again, making it more convenient for me, not just easy. Okay, last thing to bring up real quickly regarding control versus home automation is the security aspect, and we really need to talk about that because it's important. So if you decide you're going to take the path of control, DIY, a collection of apps to solve my problems, do yourself a huge favor. Go online and just do some research. Type in Ring doorbell, Arlo cameras, Nest thermostat, and just see the results that come back and determine, is the risk worth the reward for me to go down that path? That's a decision only you can make for your home, for your family, for the security of the system. What's the trade-off worth? The benefit of when I go with a true home automation system that a professional installs a wireless network in my home that is secure and locked down, I dramatically reduce, if not eliminate, a lot of those security threats from the outside world, because I've got a locked down system and I don't have to worry about someone driving by the front of my house and logging into my network through a product hung on the outside of my home. So again, do yourself a favor, do your research, come to your own determination of the risk versus the reward and what's important. If I solve a problem and make life a little bit easier, but I open my family or my home up to a world of potential threat, Is it worth it? Again, only a decision you can make, but I thought it would be important for me to put that out there. We'll get deeper into security on a security system, on a home automation system, a wireless network, all those type of things in another video to dive deeper, but I wanted to at least plant that seed so you have the information moving forward to make the best decision. So as we kind of just briefly talked about the difference between control and automation, I hope I was able to visualize and kind of explain the difference of the two. The benefits, the pros, the cons, the limitations, the things that both of them can do for you, and kind of relate it to food. You know, we're in South Louisiana, so everything's about football and food, right? So let's relate it to food. The way I can ensure that the meal is going to taste the best is I have one chef. He may have people helping him in the kitchen, but I've got one chef, making the ultimate decision of how the meal is going to be put together and prepared, and he kind of knows how it's going to turn out then, because he also gets to go and buy the ingredients. And so if my number one goal is this, I want this meal to taste as good as it possibly can, how many chefs in the kitchen barking out commands of how this meal should come together and what the expectations are and what ingredients go into it and how much of each ingredient, how many people do I want barking out commands and being in control? Do I want multiple people and the turnout and the outcome is what it is? Or do I also want one chef in the kitchen controlling the entire experience? So going back to our original question in the beginning, was this a win, right? If you have the ability now to determine what that line of limitation is, and you can start somewhat picturing the benefit of a control system, but where that limitation stops, and then all the world that a true home automation system opens up to you, and you can see that line so that you don't cross it and waste money to go backwards or go forward, then I would consider our time together today a win. Was what we covered today helpful? Shoot me a comment and let me know. Should we have covered some more of another topic? Should we have talked longer on something? Did we not cover something that you want to know more about? Again, reach out to me personally, email me, however you want to contact me, and ask me those questions. Would love to help. Give me some suggestions of things in the future that you'd like to cover. I wish you'd subscribe, like the page, share it with a friend. And again, I'm here to help answer any questions that you may have. And so, as always, be well, be smart.